Parenting has a predictable pattern. The moment dad gets involved, things tend to get bigger, louder, and slightly less safe. Kids love it, until they don't. Moms usually see the risk immediately. Dads see the opportunity. On this particular afternoon, the kids had decided to build their own backyard obstacle course. Chairs became hurdles, a log became a balance beam, a stack of boards turned into a questionable climbing section. It was the kind of course designed by kids with unlimited imagination and absolutely no liability concerns. Naturally, Dad got involved. Soon, I was helping redesign parts of the course, suggesting improvements, and timing the runs like we were hosting the backyard Olympics. Ready, set, go! The kids loved it. Faster runs, higher jumps, more complicated obstacles. Every lap became slightly more ambitious than the last. And, as often happens when enthusiasm outruns coordination, things eventually went sideways. Jackson lined up for another run. He had already completed the course a few times and was feeling confident. Maybe a little too confident. He sprinted past the chairs, jumped the first log, and scrambled over the climbing section. Next came the balance beam, which, in hindsight, was really just a slightly wobbly board we had placed across two blocks. Jackson stepped on it, arms out for balance. One step, two steps, then the board shifted. He slipped off the side and landed hard on the ground. There was a short pause, the universal moment where everyone waits to see whether a kid will bounce up or burst into tears. This time, it was neither. Jackson stood up slowly, rubbing his backside. "My bum," he said. Then he looked at his hand. "And I think I have a splinter." Normally, this is where I step in. In our house, I hold the unofficial title of Dr. Dad. It's not a medical qualification. It's more of a parenting role. Minor injuries come to me first. Scraped knees, bumped heads, mystery pains that require a quick inspection and a confident diagnosis. "Let me see," I said, walking over. Jackson showed me the splinter in his hand and continued rubbing his bruised bum. I went into full Dr. Dad mode. "All right, small splinter, easy fix. The bum will survive." I reached for his hand to check the splinter. Jackson pulled it back. "No." "No? I don't want Dr. Dad." That was unexpected. "Come on," I said. "Let me take a look." "No, I'm fine." Except he clearly wasn't fine. He was half hopping, half rubbing his backside, and holding a splinter that definitely needed attention. But my patient had officially rejected treatment. Now here's something about parenting that doesn't get mentioned enough. When you're trying to help and your help gets rejected, frustration creeps in quickly. Dr. Dad was now annoyed. I was standing there, ready to provide world-class backyard medical care, and the patient had declined the service. Meanwhile, the obstacle course had stopped, the kids were hovering around, Jackson was uncomfortable, and the whole situation felt strangely tense for what has started as a fun afternoon. Then Mum arrived. She took one look at the scene, one tired kid rubbing his bruised bum, one splinter situation, one slightly irritated Dr. Dad, several kids who had clearly been running around for a long time. She didn't start with the splinter. She asked a different question. "When did everyone last eat?" Silence. "When did everyone last rest?" More silence. Within minutes, snacks appeared. Water bottles were handed out. Everyone sat down for a minute, and something interesting happened. Jackson relaxed. The splinter came out easily once he stopped fidgeting. The bruised bum suddenly didn't seem nearly as dramatic. The kids' moods improved. Even Dr. Dad's frustration disappeared once he had something to eat. That's when the real diagnosis became obvious. The problem wasn't the fall. It wasn't the splinter, and it definitely wasn't the bruised bum. The real problem was much simpler. Everyone was tired, everyone was hungry. Kids need sleep and food. But parents forget something important. So do Dr. Dads.